The comments and statements made within the show are the opinions of the commentators and their guests and have not been evaluated by the FDA and are in no way an attempt to diagnose, treat, mitigate, cure, or prevent any disease or illness. The contents of the show are not to be construed as medical advice. If you have a health condition or health concern, please contact a licensed qualified healthcare practitioner.
Hi there. This is Herbal Answers with Nan, and we're here for our next episode. My inspiration for all the work involved in collecting, recording, and producing this little podcast is my private practice and all the folks who I see with questions and interest in natural health and wellness. This podcast is a platform for a point of view, mostly mine, and for sharing my perspectives on herbs, supplements, natural health, maybe even interviewing key people and thought leaders in the natural health industry to hear their perspectives, or for looking at historic precedents for common herbal and wellness practices. The herbs we're going to focus on today have many applications both historically and clinically for feelings of uneasiness and stress leading to distraction and fear. So, does anyone you know feel like this right now? Yeah. I think you all know what I'm talking about. Pre-election panic. Gosh, in my 59 years on this planet, I've really never heard so much doom and gloom and seen so much outright fear. And maybe rightfully so, really. But nevertheless, my heart goes out to everyone. So what can a little herbalist do in the face of global upset? Well, we're going to talk about tea. Okay, seems so simple, but we're going to focus on 3 herbs that are safe and effective for creating calm focus and feelings of relaxed centeredness. And we're not talking about CBD or cannabis today. Okay, we're talking about really simple herbs. So the first favorite relaxation herb I'd like to share with you is California poppy, Eschscholzia californica. It's not opium poppy, okay? Right. California poppy is so wonderful for helping you to relax and unwind. Most people take it towards the end of the day. It helps them get ready for sleep. It's very, very sedating. It's native to California and has been used by the indigenous people of California and the West Coast for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. California poppy has been used by native tribes for its calming, sedative effects and for its mild pain relieving effects. As usual, science has been looking at California poppy, trying to catch up and define or verify what native peoples and herbalists have known for a very long time. And that's a good thing. California poppy has been studied in lots of different situations, including providing relief for migraines, muscular pain, and even repetitive invasive thoughts. That might sound familiar to you, right? You know, when those times when your mind just won't let go of a particular thought. Think about it over and over again, almost driving you crazy. Think California poppy. It's a fascinating plant, totally tuned in to the sun. The 4-petaled, super bright orange flowers open when the sun is out and close when it sets or is occluded by cloud cover. It is a member of the poppy family, but it doesn't contain any opiates, and it doesn't present any potential for addiction. And one of the things I really love it for is when physical discomforts interfere with getting a good night's rest. It's just great for those minor aches and pains, coupled with troubled thinking that can really impact getting sleep. And that sleep helps us restore our sore bodies, our aching bodies, and our aching minds. Something to keep in mind is that California poppy can increase the neurotransmitter serotonin. So, you know, If you're on a pharmaceutical drug that increases serotonin, then you need to speak to your pharmacist before you add California poppy into your daily regimen. If you're due to go to any surgery, it's best, out of an abundance of caution, to stop using California poppy about a week before your surgery, due to potential interactions with anesthesia. It's really important to just take all kinds of caution. And if you're using any prescription drugs for sleep or anti anxiety or anti depression, please make sure, again, that you check with your pharmacist. They know, really, they're the chemists, right? So they would know if it's okay to add California poppy, or if you do, that it won't over sedate you or cause a drug herb interaction, um, for all of safety. Beautiful herb. I use it in my practice. Really lovely results. Um, Fairly safe. If you're thinking, gosh, I might be really interested in that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I can let you know through Instagram or through the website if it's right for you. Okay, the next favorite herb of mine for these feelings of uneasiness and distraction and fear is an herb called Bacopa, or Bacopa monieri. It's a beautiful herb used for rejuvenation traditionally. It's always been used to support the brain and the nervous system. It like feeds the nervous system. This is a small, creeping, water loving perennial plant. Um, and it's referred to as Brahmi, which has been used for centuries to promote memory, intelligence, and concentration, like good focus. Bacopa calms and soothes the nervous system. It supports the intellect. It maintains alertness without overstimulating, of course, and tranquility while providing energy to the brain. And it's been a long time favorite of students as it enhances learning, concentration, and memory. And if you're thinking, gosh, I need this for my kid, make sure you reach out to me and I'll help you with that. One class of compounds out of many compounds in the plant is thought to have the most powerful brain boosting effects. These are called bacosides. And really good herbal companies will measure the amount of bacosides in their extracts. Okay. Bacopa can help ease occasional anxiousness and at the same time support awareness, emotional stability, and this internal state of calm. I think most people know that when you get really anxious, you can't marshal your thoughts, right? Your thoughts are scattered, they're everywhere. And a thought will come in and then it will go out and then it'll come in and you think to yourself, I can't get a bead on what's going on in my head, right? It's just swirling around in there. Bacopa is great for just consolidating your mind and helping you kind of calm yourself so you can move on to the next thing and get those important things done in your life. Bacopa is considered to be an adaptogenic herb, meaning it helps the body to adapt, to balance itself to the demands of a shifting life or a day to day life that puts these demands on us, whether it's our body or our mind. And this can improve daytime alertness and focus. And again, without stimulation, without another cup of coffee or matcha green tea, which they're lovely and they have their positive attributes. However, they can be overstimulating and they can cause a stress response, whereas Bacopa helps to lower stress throughout the system. And it even has a mild blood pressure lowering effect. Has been shown to enhance the quality of sleep at night when you take it during the day. Bacopa is often used to support meditation, increase clarity, and connect you to a sense of spirit beyond this physical realm. It's that incredible of an herb. Um, in Ayurveda, there's always been a consideration that it allows you to have a deep focus on the intimate connection between your heart and your mind. So if you feel divided there, this is a great herb that just allows you to kind of have equanimity. And because of that connection between the heart and the mind, Bacopa also helps to be a nourishing heart tonic. So it's a mind and heart tonic. How lovely is that, right? A 12-week study and 46 healthy adults observed that taking 300 milligrams of extracted Bacopa daily significantly improved the speed of visual processing of information, learning rate, and memory compared with placebo. Another 12-week study in 60 older adults found that taking either 300 milligrams or 600 milligrams of Bacopa extract daily improved memory, attention, and the ability to process information compared with placebo. So, human studies show that Bacopa may help improve memory and focus and the ability to process visual information or information that's coming in at a rapid rate. One aspect of Bacopa that I found very interesting is the fact that its use may help reduce ADH like symptoms, such as hyperactivity, impulsivity, and inattentiveness. One study in 31 children aged 6 to 12 years found that taking 225 milligrams of Bacopa Monnier extract daily for 6 months significantly reduced ADHD like symptoms such as restlessness, poor self control, inattention, and impulsivity in 85% of the children that were in the study. Another study in 120 children with ADHD observed that taking an herbal blend that contained 125 milligrams of Bacopa improved attention, cognition, and impulse control compared with the placebo group. And we definitely need more large scale studies examining the effects of Bacopa on ADHD before we can recommend it as a treatment for this condition. But research suggests that Bacopa helps reduce stress and anxiety by elevating your mood and reducing levels of cortisol, a hormone that is closely linked to stress levels in the body. Because of the lack of studies on pregnant or lactating women, Bacopa Monnier is not currently recommended for pregnant women. And if you're taking any medications that were prescribed by your physician, please speak with your healthcare provider and your pharmacist before adding Bacopa to your daily regimen. If you get a powdered form, almost like a crushed form of Bacopa, you can add it to hot water to make a tea. And I love tea. Tea is so accessible for these moments in your day when you're just like scattered and anxious and can't pull it together, right? Tea, a spot of tea can really do a lot. Bacopa can also, like in a powdered form, can be mixed with warm milk or ghee or even warm oat milk if you can't drink cow milk. Or you can just mix it with ghee. Ghee is really a really good delivery system for Bacopa. And you can make like a little herbal drink if you want, or you can put it in your smoothie. It does have a very slightly bitter and very aromatic taste. So you might want to sweeten it with a little bit of raw honey to offset that taste. But some people find it really delicious too. So it depends on your taste buds. Try it in an herbal extract if you wish to get through your studies without too many distractions. It's a great daytime herb versus California poppy being a really good evening to get ready for bed type herb. Okay, the third and most easily obtained herb is chamomile. The earliest recorded use of chamomile for medicinal purposes within 1550 BC, written on the Ebers Papyrus, an Egyptian medical papyrus of herbal knowledge. Both the Egyptians and Saxons, which were in Upper England area, England, Ireland, Scotland area, viewed chamomile in a very sacred manner, and it was even considered a gift from the divine in ancient Egypt culture. It really is a favorite of mine. Throughout history, common folk have used chamomile for a variety of reasons, from female reproductive health to, this is pretty interesting, embalming bodies to repelling pests and vermin. And by the Middle Ages, monks greatly utilized chamomile for soothing the digestive system and calming the nerves. Generalized anxiety disorder. It's called GAD, but it's just anxiety without a subject matter, right? For example, anxiety that's related to the loss of somebody or the loss of your job, or something happened to your children or your grandchildren or yourself. That's not generalized. That kind of anxiety has a source, but sometimes people can't put their finger on why they're anxious, right? So we call that generalized anxiety disorder. And it's one of the most common anxiety disorders of the modern day. Current treatments can have limited efficacy, and there are significant side effects. Okay. And in a 2016 study written and published in the Phytomedicine Journal and entitled Long Term Chamomile Treatment for Generalized Anxiety Disorder, which was a randomized clinical trial, the researchers sought out a long term evaluation of chamomile use for the prevention of generalized anxiety disorder symptoms and relapses. And during the first phase of the trial, participants, these were adults, received 12 weeks of open label therapy with chamomile pharmaceutical grade extract. It was about 500 milligrams per capsule 3 times a day. During phase 2, treatment responders were randomized into 2 different groups: 26 weeks of continuation of chamomile therapy or placebo in a double-blinded placebo substitution design. They found that long-term chamomile was safe and significantly reduced moderate to severe generalized anxiety disorder symptoms. It did not significantly reduce the rate of relapse. In another study, entitled Short Term Open Label Chamomile Therapy of Moderate to Severe Generalized Anxiety Disorder, written by John Keefe et al., and published in the 2016 Phytomedicine Journal, they hypothesized that treatment with chamomile extract would result in significant reduction in GAD severity ratings. Participants diagnosed with moderate to severe general anxiety disorder received open label treatment with pharmaceutical grade chamomile extract, which is up to 1,500 milligrams a day for up to 8 weeks. They found that chamomile produced a clinically meaningful reduction in GAD in over 8 weeks. So the symptoms pretty much dissolved in that 8-week time, with a response rate comparable to those observed during conventional anxiolytic drug therapy, and a favorable adverse event profile. So it meant that their adverse events were very, very low, if at all. It was negligible. It's important to note that 60% of people diagnosed with anxiety will also present with symptoms of depression and vice versa. Although conventional antidepressant drug therapies have simplified this comorbidity treatment of anxiety and depression, a large population still goes untreated. Many of those going untreated prefer to seek out alternative medicine remedies for their symptoms. In this recent 2020 study entitled Putative Antidepressant Effect of Chamomile Oral Extract in Subjects with Comorbid Generalized Anxiety Disorder and Depression, written by Dr. Amsterdam et al. And published in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine. They examined the assumed antidepressant effect of chamomile extract in subjects with generalized anxiety disorder with or without comorbid depression. And 179 participants received initial therapy with open label chamomile extract at 1,500 milligrams a day for 8 weeks. They found that chamomile may produce clinically meaningful antidepressant effects in addition to its anxiolytic activity in subjects with GAD and comorbid depression. Sleep is one of the most important basic human needs. When there's any disruption in its natural course, it can significantly impact how we function in our day-to-day life. There are various ways to deal with sleep disorders, but the return to herbal and natural drugs has been a more emphasized approach over the last decade. The 2011 study entitled Preliminary Examination of the Efficacy and Safety of a Standardized Chamomile Extract for Chronic Primary Insomnia. It was a randomized placebo-controlled pilot study, and it was published in BMC's Complementary Medicine and Therapies journal. The researchers examined the preliminary efficacy and safety for chamomile for improving subjective sleep and daytime symptoms in patients with chronic insomnia. Participants were randomized into two different groups: 270 milligrams of chamomile twice daily or placebo for 28 days. The conclusion was that there was a possibility that chamomile extract could provide modest and mixed clinical benefit at the doses evaluated to patients with chronic primary insomnia. So 250 milligrams versus 1500 milligrams, you still get a good effect. More studies are needed, of course, and we need to continue investigating how much and when to take chamomile. But my favorite way to take chamomile is as a tea. Yeah, you can purchase tea bags from Buddha Teas or even Celestial Seasonings, and they're okay in a pinch. But if you really want to experience chamomile's anti-stress effect and its sleep-inducing effect, what you want are the whole flowers. Okay? And use them. Oh God, they smell unbelievable. Oh, heaven, right? Use them in a tea strainer. And look at all the tea strainers. There's this one with a stick that I love. You push on it. There's this one that it's like a pincher. It's like a lobster claw. There's this one that you get. I love this with the stars and the moons, right? You just put it in there, right? There's this one that's very cool. It's got a lid so you don't get, if you're really picky about flowers in your water that you're going to drink, even though I don't care. But some people are like, oh, I want the tea, absolutely, the tea water to be, no sticks, no leaves, no flower. You get this with the little lid, you can put it in there. And then this has a magnet and you can dunk it. I love this thing. Look at that. There's so many different tea strainers. And this is heads and shoulders. This is the way to take chamomile tea, okay? It really, truly is. Get some flowers. We will leave links to some of the best organic growers in America where you can order chamomile flowers. They're so fresh. You look at them and you think, holy cow, it's a flower. This episode is fast coming to a close. And if you're wondering who I am, I'm Nan, and I've had a complimentary health and herbal clinic, both part-time and full-time, for more than 30 years, focused on difficult to treat conditions. I've also been a spokesperson and educator in the natural products industry for more than 25 years for some of the more reputable and well-known companies. You can connect with me in person by going to my website at www.watersedgewellness.com or by reaching out to me through my social media sites on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You'll find my TikTok pages under Herbal Answers. You'll find this podcast under Herbal Answers. We also have links below if you want to reach out personally. And if you wouldn't mind, please subscribe to and like our Herbal Answers podcast, wherever podcasts can be found. Don't forget to share my podcast with interested friends and family, especially about the 3 herbs to help you through this really anxious and nerve-wracking time. And if there are subjects that you'd like to hear about, let me know. I'll write them up and share them with you and everyone else. So with that, I will say, please drink some chamomile tea, everybody. Take good care of yourselves, and see you really soon. Bye-bye.